Hello everyone. Welcome back to our Python Complete course. In the previous video, we studied about object-oriented programming groups and why it is important and its four pillar. So today we are going to study the two most important concept of that is class and objects. So every program start with these two concepts. Once you understand them, learning constructors inheritance polymorphism become much easier. By the end of this video, you will be able to understand what is class, understand what is object, create your own class and object, attribute and method, understand the self word. Let's begin this video. So first one, this is the introduction that this chapter explains the two fundamental concepts of each classes and objects. So basically, what is a class? So a class is a blueprint or template used to create object. It is defined attribute and method. So basically, a class is a blueprint or template used to create object. It defines data means attribute, function means method. So a class itself does not store actual data. It only describes what an object should look like. So if we want to take a real life example, like you know, real life example, like imagine an architect designing a house. So the design blueprint is the class. The actual house built from that design is the object. So similarly, the class is the student and the object is the like a student in it. Like I am like I Satyam and any other Rahul Priya, any other name like I will see this. So first I have to do syntax of the class. I'll show you guys the syntax of it. This is the basic syntax of class. Like this class, a student, then path, like this. So here class is the keyword used to create a class. A student is a class name and pass indicate an empty class. So so how to use it? So Python, how to use the name? So Python recommend using Pascal case for class names. So just I get my next one. So class names will be in Pascal case. Like you have don't put a space mark in between. Like some put like this student name. No, not like this. We have to put it in same line. Like this student name. This is the Pascal case like this. And some thought that this is also a Pascal case, but not. This is called a snake case. So variable agenda variable if there is a variable in your data and function, then that name should be in a snake case, but your class names will be in Pascal case. Here you can see, if you able to see here, I made notes of it that if you guys able to see here, I made notes of Pascal case in a snake case. You can take a screenshot of it by joining it if you want. So next one is, what is an object? An object is an instance of a class with its own data and behavior. That means an object is an instance of a class. Object. So object is an instance of class. Object are created using the class. For example, like yes, one more necessary thing is this will be in cap in a snake test like this in Pascal case. I mean, this is in Pascal case like this. So here a student is the class and a student one is the object. So like we can take more good example like this. I made a notes of it. I hope it is visual for you guys to see and like this. You can take a screenshot of it because I have written good example of this that I cannot show you guys in this laptop right now. So uh, uh, for oh, here a student is the class and its object is student one. So like this, you can take an example of a car where car um, is the class and Wagner is the object. And you can take in a sports is the class and football is the object. And animal is the class, then langur or tiger or lion, anything is the object like this. So you understand how to create an object. Now let's understand how to create. You will not, and I'll tell about it. I'll tell you about how to create class or not. Maybe I think so. Creating a class. Use the class keyword to define a class. Creating object. Objects are created by calling the class like a function. So now basically we create a multiple objects. Like one class can create many objects. So like this we create a class and multiple object in it. Like take this one like this. Here here one class is there that is a student. Here there is only one class that is a student and we create many objects that is S1 and we have S2. So each object is separated and it has own memory. So its memory representation are like a student class, then object one, like name Satyam, object two, that name is Rahul, and object three, that name is Ayushi. So all objects come from the same class, each store different information. Now, next one is attribute and method. Attribute are stored data while method define an action of an object can perform. So basically, attribute are variable that belong to an object. Like if you take an example, a student has a name, um, attribute, roll number attribute, age attribute, course attribute. So how we add attribute in our program. So if you want to add attribute like here there are multiple attribute like name attribute, role attribute, age attribute like this. And you can access this attribute by just typing like this your attribute accessories like this. So method. So method are the next one is method. So method are function inside a class. Method are methods are functions inside a class. They define the behavior of an object. Example, a car can start, stop, accelerate. This action are method. So how we create a method? Like if you want to create a method, so we just put it in comment. You can call it right like this. It is still not accessible. Here, a student have the student to easily understandable like this. Welcome to Python. So accessing so the different between class versus object one more time they will take is the class is a blueprint template define a structure create object while object is a real entity instant create or store actual data uses the class. So real life example like class, I already told you like many times. Real life example, a student. Now there is a accessing member that is use the dot operator to access the object oriented attribute and method. You can put a dot operator to access like this. Hmm. Now the real life example. So a student can create many student object with a different name and role number. So these are the real life example. Like in a bank, object are like Satyam account, Ronaldo account, Messi account, any other thing like object, and class is the account. In a mobile, class is the mobile, and object is the Samsung, Apple, OnePlus, nothing. In cars, car is the class, and BMW, Audi, Tesla is the objects. The next one is advantage of objects classes. So classes improve code organization, reusability, and maintainability. But it provide better code organization, code reusability, easy maintenance, real world modeling, easy debugging, and support all features. So it practice programmer create a student or create a student car, employee, bank account already done, create multiple object and display their detail already done, all this in done. A car is a blueprint and object is an instant as the dot operator and so remember like this is also done. So the common mistake done by beginners is creating an object before defining the class or creating parentheses or not using shell. So no, basically there is a word called shell. I don't tell you. So oh, every instant method has the self as its first parameter. So if you don't have any parameter in it, then self is the first parameter in it, like this. So self refer to the current object. So it is in some beginner also forget to use it, is not using it. So it is mandatory to use self. Mandatory to use self. So the next is interview question and what is class? So basically a class is a blueprint or template that define the attribute and method of object. So next one is what is an object? So an object is the instance of a class with its own data and behavior. Next one is what is the difference between them? You should answer it by yourself. And if I ask you a question that what is the purpose of self keyword? So the self keyword refer to the current object and is used to access its attribute and method. So now the summary of this video is it will be covered classes, object, attribute, method, uh, object creation, practical examples, self keyword, and many other things, and real life example interview question like this. So I hope you guys like this video. So see you guys in the next video. So bye guys.